I am Mashaka, I am Mashaka, I am Mashaka, I am Mashaka. Hi everyone, we are about to start, just waiting a bit more. Some couple of people to join us. But yeah, today Father's Chair, new episode, new slot, change the slot to a 6 o'clock slot. You know, we believe in data, we believe in science. That's why we've changed the slot from the Tuesday slot to today's slot. But yeah, let's wait a bit more. And as we'll be talking, breaking the silence, man, GBV, and the courage to speak. Join us live on my Facebook. On what is join us live on Athlete Network podcast. So we take the first episode of the new slot of the Father's Care as we talk breaking the silence, man, GBV, and the courage to speak. Deconstruct episode. So join us now. We are live. We've done it half-past, not a long one, but basically, let's talk. Let's talk. Okay. Good evening. Hope you guys are good. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are fine. This is a new time slot, as we mentioned, for the Father's Chair. We will not be doing Tuesday anymore. We'll be doing Thursdays, 6 o'clock. So we just thought, man, because it's a new slot, let's not put out an episode. Let's rather do this. Let's rather find ourselves in a spot where we actually are engaging straight with our audience, with our viewers, with people who actually come and watch this podcast. There is no better place where men can come and feel, speak, and lead. Because we're about the narrative. We're about to change the narrative on how men are seen, on how men are viewed, on how men should take their space in our society. Because at the end of the day, it will be pointless and useless if we don't create a space and an environment where everyone has a space to speak. Interestingly enough, this week I saw a video which was wild. One of these social media influencers saying that men are scared to ask her out because she had an incident with someone or ex-boyfriend who's married, by the way, allegedly. Short hair, allegedly. That's the podcasting language, allegedly. So, but now men are cowards because they don't want to come and date her. Like, you see where as men we are put in a space where everyone will come and speak on our behalf simply because of the bad choices that they've made. Therefore, someone else is responsible. You know? We speak and laugh at dudes when they speak out. We'll bust them when they don't speak out. We crush them when they show leadership, and we name them all sort of names, toxic, this and this and this. So at the end of the day, that's why we find ourselves in a space where we have a lot of cases where men and abuse, it seems like it's two different things. They don't report their issues, you know? So welcome to the Father's Chair, guys, to the Deconstruct to Construct episode. My daughters are on some playing in the outside. This is a space where we break down the myth, the pain, and the silence so we can rebuild stronger men, fathers, and families. Today, we're talking about something that sits deep in our society, gender-based violence, known as GBV, and how men are often caught between being seen as a threat and being silent victims themselves. You see, this conversation isn't about competition of pain. It's about accountability, awareness, and healing. Because when men understand their power, not just physical, but emotional, we can play a better role and we can change the story. So, why men don't speak up or speak up about abuse, fear, or violence, and how silence feeds into GBV? You know, from a young age, you hear that men don't cry, just handle it. You know, just don't feel, just handle it. You know, and it becomes an issue of an emotional suppression. And when you suppress your emotion, it turns out to be depression. It turns out to be, that's where things like suicide comes into play. You know, because the worst part is the inward turning inward can be converted and turned into violence. You see, and that's when we have a problem. You know, so the stats says the SA's GBV rate is one of the highest globally. 1 in 3 women experience violence in their lifetime. But also, men make up 80% of all homicide victims. 80%. So there's this thing that is put out there. And yes, it's a problem, but I have an issue where we misuse stats not correctly. There's a wave of saying that no, there's a lot of women dying in SA. 1 is a lot. Let's not make that mistake. 1 is a lot, right? And then when you look into the actual numbers, out of average 20,000 that die a year in SA, 3,000 are women. You see, so when we report this, it's as though it's as bad. Remember, 1 is a lot. But 3,000 to 17,000, that says something else. So hence it says that over 80% of all homicides, men are the victims. 80%, guys. 80%. You know, this is according to the SA Police 2024 stats, by the way, where it says 80% are men. Over 30% of men report having faced emotional or physical abuse, but never spoken about it. They don't report it. They don't go to the police, because when society mocks them, mocks men's vulnerability, and make it look like you are weak. Men reported, she hit you, I was tired. You know, that's what it happens. You know, We shame dudes for reporting. We make them look weak. Therefore, that breeds silence. Remember, 80% of homicides in SA, it's men. I'm sure someone will be saying, yeah, but who's killing them? Other men. That's not the point. The point is crime is there. The point is you can't go walk in the Kruger National Park and expect lions not to deal with you. We're not going to change criminals. Let's not sit here and try to make ourselves what we can't do. We cannot change criminals. Criminals will remain criminals. That's a fact, right? Let's not try to make it into what it's not. You see what I'm saying? So, because boys are taught to be tough, then act surprised, then they grow up and unable to ask for help. That's what we do. We say, be tough, don't cry. And Munaking is in Sotho, you know what I'm saying? We keep saying to them, they must keep it inside, keep it inside, keep it inside. They don't cry. But at the end of the day, when they cry, when they don't cry and they act out, we are surprised. Because then what is it? So we need to deconstruct from early age. When our kids grow, our boys grow, we need to show them the balance. We need to create a space where we know that, listen, you can speak, you can do this, and we can create a space for them to trust us to speak to us. If we can exercise that and make it a way that them and I, them and us, we are a team and we want to solve this, we now create a space where they can speak. And when they speak, it now becomes easier. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm the best out of it all, but I know that my son, when he's what I said to him, and at the same time I said to my kids, my girls, dude, if you are in trouble, the first person that you're going to speak to, it's me. That's the first person that you have to confront. If you go do something crazy, come and tell me first before you go out there, because at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, I'm going to find out about it. Whether I like it or not, I'm going to know. And it's up to you, where do you want me to find out? You want me to find out about whatever you've done at the early stage, where hopefully we can do something about it, or at the stage where now I can't do anything about it? You see what I'm saying? And at the end of that, I said to him, remember, there will be consequences. Either way, there will be consequences of the bad thing you've done. But talk to me first. You see, you've created a space where they can speak. He can express himself. Just like I can't speak of some stuff that he says. We dealt with a very interesting case in this year where I got scared, but I was able that him and I spoke. You know what I'm saying? He scared me so much. So we need to construct accountability and healing. You know, that's what we need to do. So, I mean, how many men can take responsibility and find healing through openness, not ego? We can't lead with ego, gents. Ego could be our downfall. Ego is our downfall sometimes. Ego is also good. I'm not saying ego is also it's a bad thing. It's in doses, and it's where you use it. You know, I can give you an example. A player like, I love Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, I love Michael Jordan. I love people like, you know, I love people like, you know, who are great in sports. One of the biggest things that they display, that they display is ego and arrogance. And how they use that is for them to be as best that they are in the sport that they are. You follow? So that's how you use your arrogance and ego to say, no, there's a flip side of ego. You know, my wife and son, daughter were here, they were disturbing me. You know, there's a flip side of ego where you're scared to do whatever you want to do. It end up becoming, you want to show whether you can, to your demise. You know, selfishness can be used for good or bad. You know, so all these things, attitude can be used good or bad. So all these are not necessarily one-sided. It's up to you how you want to use it. So we need to find that we can't live with ego in everything else. You know, so strength is not dominance necessarily. It's discipline. You can be dominant within your discipline you can kill it. You know what I'm saying? Accountability does not mean shame. It means honesty. You're sorry, I'll be late. You're sorry, I didn't mean that. You're sorry, I thought of it this way. You're sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way. They need to do that. There's no one going to come back to you and say anything about that. You've apologized. If they do, you have every right to sit on their neck about it. You know what I'm saying? But men must be both protectors and participants in healing, showing up in therapy circles and family discussions. The thing I remember when I went through my divorce, I got scared. I felt, what would people say? It was a big thing in my mind, until I literally said, no, man, rather than I blame my ex-wife, why don't I go and find out about who is Fumani, who's my dad, who's my grandfather? Because I didn't know my grandfather, my paternal grandfather. I didn't know him. I went to Kamhlaba. I asked these people, who is this man? Who is this man? And the more they told me what kind of person he was, I learned, oh my God, we are similar, him and I. There are traits that I picked from him that I applied them in my marriage. Things that could have been better had I known that. You see, so it's very important to go and find out and be open to family. It's healing. It healed me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Highlighting the need for safe space for men. This is very important. One of the reasons for this particular podcast is for that. We need to create space where men can come and talk and share their emotions, their feelings, their pain, their joy, their happiness, their plans, their vision. Because if you bounce off stuff from other people, we now find ourselves in a position where it can only get better. It can only be solved or shown another better way of handling it. You know what I'm saying? Than not speaking at all. Because how many times have you thought you were the only one who had a certain idea, only find out, oh my goodness, that thing has been out there before, and people have done it better than what you thought you would be the solution for that particular route of you solving it. So speak up, speak up. We can't fight GBV by being defensive. Nah, this one is very touchy to me. I was in a situation before where people were so defensive about everything that I end up becoming the one on the wrong, whilst I was the one saying that this is abuse, we can't go on with this. I end up becoming the one on the wrong. It's because people are defensive and we're fighting it. We're fighting, could know the person has asked for forgiveness. Therefore, let's continue. I'm like, guys, it doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. You know what I'm saying? Healing men doesn't excuse violence. It prevents it. Simple as it. Because we need to find a way of preventing this thing. If we deal with ourselves, we know what's inside, and know how to package what's inside, know how to express what's inside. We can now find ourselves in a position where we know how to handle what's inside. Because there's many outlets that one can take, but if we don't speak, if we don't confront them, if we don't share them, if we don't express them, we end up doing only one way of handling them. It bottles, it explodes, and you hit. You become violent. You see what I'm saying? And even vice versa. You don't speak, you commit suicide. So let's find a way of speaking. Hurt people. We know this. So healing people heal generation to come. So it's very important that we think of healing and know that if you hurt, you're going to hurt others. So go out there and express it. So we need to construct that moment of knowing it's not about us now. It's about the future generation that we need to speak to. It's about the next people that we are working. I like to say some of the things it's late for us. Let's plant the tree now, knowing that the shade for that particular tree is for our children. The Japanese say that. So if we're going to work from that point of view, it will be great. So what are the call to action, guys? Things that we need to do. Speak, heal, and rebuild. Simple as that. We need to speak about it so you can heal. And when we heal, here are the puzzles, here are the pieces. How do you then rebuild that? Because now you share with other men, you share with other people. Some have gone through that. Some have gone through it. Some are going through it. In that space, we are able now to rebuild. we're not able to heal because we spoke about it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a man listening, talk to someone this week, a brother, a friend, a mentor. I have a mentor. There's a man that I speak. There's a program that I plan to do in the next couple of years. I call him today. I'm like, yo, Dad, this is what I'm trying to do. He's like, oh, my son, this. And he's saying, he's trying to send me links on what to read in preparation. You know what I'm saying? So if you've had someone, own it. Seek for help. Make it right. Make it right. It's don't say yes and forgive you immediately, but find a way to make amends. If you had speak report, guys, let's report. This thing of men not reporting, it doesn't work, because there's a whole narrative that a societal issue is now put on our shoulders as men, which is a problem. Let's also speak up so that there can be stats to prove we are also go through stuff as well. Because without stats, which are easily manipulatable, which I don't really like stats, we are in a position where stats are used to push a cause that we are the only perpetrators. No, men are not only perpetrators. But let's report, gents. Let's go speak about the states. So women are not the enemy, by the way. Women are the enemy. Silence is the enemy. I don't like this thing of gender battles. I hate it so much. Where it's men, women, my gender, I hate that crap. I hate that crap. Women are not the enemy. The silence is. You know what I'm saying? Silence is. Encourage community actions, men leading men out of pain, deeper. Not to stay deeper in it. There's a series that's coming out this month that we shot. I was actually in the note session now with one of the editors, putting up together. So if you go to the channel right now, check the Complicity of Silence. The Complicity of Silence is you'll see the trailer for this particular series that is coming up. It's a pilot series. It's about the silence, and it's about the fact that we are all complicit somehow to the scourge of GBV that we have in our society. So as in closing, we cannot deconstruct GBV without reconstructing manhood itself, guys. One conversation, one act of courage, and one father at a time. One father at a time. Eventually, we will have it all and make sure that everything is in order, because I believe that as a society, and this month of activism that's coming up, 16 days of activism, it's up to us as a society to heal society. The minute we're going to sit here and blame each other and call each other all sorts of names just because we can't be accountable to our actions, to our tongues, to our fists, to our slaps, to our physicality, to whatever, that it hurts someone else, we will be at a position where forever and ever we will not heal and become worse and worse of a nation. So thank you. As I said, this is a new slot for Father's Chair every Thursday. Next week we have an interesting episode. This friend of mine from the States, name is Chris D. He told me a very interesting story about how his father brought him up. I'm like, that's why Americans think like the way they think. It made sense now. So, but next week we are 6 o'clock. We're having another one. Of course, we'll talk about it on time. But thank you. Let's keep building in the world where men speak before they break. And share, subscribe. Let's grow this Fathersness Network podcast. Have a good evening. Love you guys. Sharp, sharp.